You are about to witness the next episode of the ZFG Radio.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of ZFG Radio. My guest at this time, co-owner of ACW, former owner of EHHW, Mike Lavelle. Mike, we were talking a few moments ago. We got a little bit of a brief rundown. And for the fans that don't know you, let me give a little bit of a rundown. This man has been around a long time. We've known each other a long time. You started up EHHW about 10 years ago, ran it for about 4 months, closed it down, opened it back up, and then ran it for a little bit and sold it to ACW, kind of what DRW did, except for we were completely active for 10 years before we had to sell. You did a little run of DRW. You're in ACW now as a co-owner. You brought me in along with Torrance, Liana, Tyler, a lot of the DRW talent. So give us a little bit of a, where do you, with your vision along with Tony and Berto and all of them, what is your vision for ACW a year from now?
A year from now? Right now, we've gone from the 12 people that we had active to a week later, 60 active members. In 1 week, 60 active. That's a huge jump, huge turnover. So a year from now, I could see maybe 100 to 200 active members. I see
it's a lot of talent.
A lot of talent. And a lot of talent from people who've done it for a long period of time, such as yourself.
I have been around a long time, and trust me, my road was not easy to get where I'm at today. And trust me, before I got the call from ACW, I was at the end of my career. I was happy with how it ended. I was going to ride off into the sunset with a bottle of tequila and call it a day. But I got the call from ACW, from yourself and Berto. They asked for a heel. And who better? Who better than me?
That's what we all
plan.
Said.
That's my plan.
Office.
I plan to give ACW the best heel they can, but, I said what's the goal a year from now, because e-fetting, you need to be smart, have small goals until you get major milestones. I ran DRW for damn near 10 years, and every year I told everybody else, my gosh, I want to make it a year from now. 10 years later, people are like, and it's unheard of for an e-fed to run that long without ever closing down. DRW never closed down before. It was never a thing. And that's hard to do. I mean, you've had to close down, reopen up shop, and bring it back. I'm proud of where you came from. With ACW, though, if you look at the talent pool now, who do you think really is going to be the generation to take ACW from here to the next level?
The next generation for ACW, Hardcore Wrestling Alliance name change. They're doing pretty good. A lot of them are old timers. So I'm looking more for the younger talent. And I haven't pulled any younger talent in so far, other than a couple guys. I mean, I have a lot of legends in there. So that's the route we're going with right now. Pull the legends in, see what they can do. I've scouted every single person that has been added to that e-fed.
Hey, man, you want to look to the future, there's Jay Styles. He's in there, and
Jay Styles, we're working on Jay Styles.
I mean, I helped him take his career from, when I found Jay Styles, he was in there with a group of guys, called the Brotherhood, and he was treated as an afterthought, and I brought him in. I made him a huge star. He took our X division, took it to heights never seen before. He broke out into a main event scene, and him and Chris Zero, character-wise, Zero was taking him under his wing and was going to show him the real main event in life. And if you want to rely on the future, Jay Styles is your man. You know, I tell everybody, anytime anybody ever asks me, who's the future? Jay Styles. You know, I've changed my answer for the last couple of years, but Jay Styles has been consistent. He's been around, he's been around since DRW started, but, he's still in the prime of his career, as when DRW started for me, I was still 2 or 3 years in, so I wasn't a rookie when that started. So I'm not going to say that my best days are behind me, because ACW will learn that is far from the truth. But
Yeah.
I think ACW is going to do bright things. And with that, what do you guys got going on pay-per-view schedule-wise? How many pay-per-views you guys think? And you guys talking once a month, twice a month? What are you guys looking at?
Right now we only have one pay-per-view that is set to go. Just we haven't really set up the matches yet. The booking is still in the process. We have
May 24th.
Yeah, May 24th. We just don't have. We have the people. We just don't know where we're gonna go with it. Who's gonna face who?
I mean, I see 2 or 3 matchups you could do right away.
Well, we got a guaranteed match between Torrance H. Banks and David No Mercy Hill.
Torrance Banks, man, I've known that guy longer than DRW was around. I've known Torrance. Again, it's same story with Jay Styles, man. When I found him, I don't like to say this publicly, but when I found him, he was shit, I mean, I took him under my wing. I showed him everything I knew, along with Knox helping us turn Torrance into a star. Torrance and Mercy, that's going to be a hell of a match, I mean, I'd put Jay Styles on the card, give him Michael or somebody like that. And, I mean, there's plenty of talent around. I mean, I see that Michael guy comment on my statuses. Him and Liana could go. Yeah, him and Liana could go. I mean, there's a lot of good matchups there. But with that,
we only have 2 divas in the HWA.
If you listen to my last episode, I said this in my last episode, and I'll say it again here. I've been an owner a long time, and I've been where you're at. I've had the book, I've had the pin, I've had the stress. You just came out of an important meeting. I know how that is.
Yeah.
In and out of meetings left and right. I'm glad my owner days are behind me, EFED wise. If I was you, I mean, it's hard to run a women's division because, I've been around over 10 years. And I've only ever met a handful of women that could go with the talent. I mean, there's Key Morbid, Jamie, Pam, Liana.
The Leon I see is a bright star in our company. That's definitely top of the chain right there for Divas division.
And I know you were trying to do EHHW by yourself. How is it now with a board behind you? Do you feel like it's easier to do it with a group, or do you think it's easier to do it by yourself?
All the stress is taken off of me, so it's a million times easier with a couple of guys to help me out. I mean, we have executive room, which is Tony, myself, and Berto. That's simple on that, 3 people. And the co-owner, Blake, of ACW. So we have 4 people running this show. And I can take my mind off of it. If I need to, I can walk away from it for a second and say, hey, I'm going to focus on graphics.
Hey, man, that's something I never had the luxury of doing. Like I said, DRW was around a long time. I did it all by myself. I mean, rarely I had a board behind me, but, not a board without an agenda. I worked with the Skype clique, the infamous Skype clique, and those guys were just in it for themselves. I'd worked with Tyler and Sean and Styles and all of them. They were day one guys along with Torrance. But I wrote every show by myself, so, I'm glad to see that, guys can get together, work together, and make something successful. I'm very proud of ACW.
I went to Tony. 100% I went to Tony. And I asked for help, and he was there. he's not asked me once to change anything. He's not forcing anything upon me with this one. He asked me if I would like to move forward, if it's a subject of changing things. If you watch the interview, it was just, they give me basically free reign to do what I need to do, as long as they see it the same way we just agree on.
Yeah. I
I
feel like that's gonna give you a better successful path, because by yourself, you don't have anybody to argue with and no one else to see a different vision. Because maybe sometimes, I know from my experience, not every one of my visions was correct. I'd made a lot of mistakes as an owner. So with a board behind you, you get everybody else's views, and maybe you can see it from somebody else's perspective. And I think it's a better successful way of making things work.
No, yeah, Berto has a lot of experience, and he's thrown some ideas out there that I didn't think about that. Like, that's great. Why haven't I thought about that? Why not? And then Tony gives amazing advice, no matter what the situation. If you're having an issue personally out of character, he will be there for you.
And I told you this before this interview took place. I said, I never thought I'd get the pen and book back in my hand. It's back in my hand in EWG, but I don't really got to work that hard for it. But, with the passion I got for ACW for some reason, if you guys ever need help with booking, creative, or anything like that, just reach out. I'm an evil genius. I'm already putting together a storyline that I want to throw off Berto and everything like that, because I believe with the storylines, with the talent we got there, I firmly believe ACW could be the next HOPW, the next DRW. I feel like it could be around for a long time, given the management's will to stick with it and the talent's will to stick with it.
Oh, yeah. Recently, we ran into a couple of road bumps with naming the brand, and House of Hardcore can't be the title of it anymore. Copyrights with Tommy Dreamer. So we're moving forward and trying to figure this out.
Wow. I feel like for what your company represents, I don't know if I would even throw in the term hardcore, because granted, every federation is hardcore these days. There's nothing unique about the name hardcore. I could put the name in hardcore and anything doesn't necessarily mean we're hardcore. DRW, there's not a single hardcore phrase in there, and we had some of the most death-defying, brutalizing matches ever. Honestly, I sold the Rebellion rights to EWG. I could sell the rest to ACW and throw my name in the hat and try to get you guys help, and also help, ACW take it from here to here. Just leave it as ACW. Call it American Championship Wrestling, or
they do have the other brands. ACW is the company, but they also have their shows, and our House of Hardcore is presented by ACW.
Aha.
So they have Wednesday Night Mayhem, Tuesday Night Terror. That's a brand that I'm a part of, as Dolph Top Dollar Davis.
Well, I had a brand that ran for a while. Besides Rebellion, there was Smashdown Live. You guys could take that and run with it. It's got prestige behind it and lineage. Especially with who created the name. Pam, who's no longer with us, she created that name. Take that lineage, take that respect, and take it and run with it. Because, like I said, when I first stepped into ACW, I felt something special. I looked around, I saw people I'd never competed against before. I don't know anything about Berto, anything about Michael, anything about Tony, or anything like that. And that's what makes it special, because I don't know these guys. So it gives me something to learn from. It gives me something to perfect, and it gives me another body to beat. So.
Yeah, I got a question for you, though. How do you feel about Tyler H?
Oh, I was asked not to go public about Tyler H. But here's what I'll say about Tyler H. Tyler H. is a guy who literally has zero creative in his body. 0% creative. His name, Tyler H., literally came from Triple H. I know the guy who gave him the name. The guy who gave him the name is a carbon copy of everything. His federation is a carbon copy of WWE and everything like that. Tyler H. is a guy who believes he's better than what he really is. Because Tyler H. is a curtain jerker at best. He is a vanilla midget. He can give nothing back to the EFED world. He does nothing special. Nothing about him is special. Nothing about his promo skills spark. He's beneath me. He's beneath my talent pool. I don't think he deserves to share the ring with me. I don't believe he deserves to share the locker room. You know, I believe if he's got to get dressed somewhere, it should be in the parking lot.
So I'm taking it as a out of character. There is some tension there.
There's some bad blood. There is. I mean, I give
character.
Respectfully, Tyler H. is a company man. He always shows up to work, and he does the job that needs to be done. But he's an egotistical, maniacal piece of trash who doesn't deserve to share the ring, locker room, let alone oxygen with me. So
I think the last match that you and I have had was the last match on DRW's Rebellion, right?
The last match me and you shared the ring with was the last weekly show, Rebellion. The last pay-per-view, however, was me and Tyler H., where Tyler H. got lucky and beat me for the Intercontinental Championship and would become the last Intercontinental Champion and will be taking that title, the EWG, to cash in for the EWG Dark Style Championship. A shot at that title, anyway. Tyler H. is going to do exactly what he does best. He's going to lose. ACW will gain nothing from him other than another person they got to pay, another person they got to pay his medical bills, because if he shares the ring with talent like me, talent like Torrance, and talent like Liana, the Absolute Nightmares, you're going to be spending more money on medical bills than you are going to be with his merchandise sales. So
sense that tension right there. I saw that you posted a few promos there. We had a couple of guys that are coming at you. I mean, God right off the rip.
Come at the God you best not miss. When I came to ACW, I laid the challenge down. I looked everyone in their face and I said, you want some, come get some. I ain't scared of anybody. There's nobody in that locker room that can lace my boots. There's no one in the locker room that can hold my jock. I'm better than every single one of them, and they know it. That's why they want a piece. They don't want a piece to beat me. They want a piece to learn. They want a piece to share the ring with greatness. Because everywhere I step in that ring is greatness. I am God. I am the God of professional wrestling. I am the God amongst men. It's not just a title. It's not just a catchphrase. It's a way of life. I wake up. I piss excellence. I drink excellence. And that's just all there is to it. There's not a single person in that locker room that can touch me. God can talk whatever he wants. Mike Lees can talk whatever he wants. Nobody can touch me. They all suck. They all were second rate before I got here. I'm bringing the merchandise sales. I'm bringing the pay-per-view sales. I'm bringing ACW what ACW never knew they could do. I'm bringing ACW to the next level, and I'm making all of us millionaires while I do it. So when they go to the bank and they cash that check, they need to come to my house and say, thank you, Mr. Zero, and mow my lawn.
Oh, Lord. I figure you scouted all the talent that is there. All of your experience, I would take it that you would have done that. And who do you see yourself actually contending against, or somebody contending with you?
If we're talking respectfully out of character from one talent to another, I would say God or Michael will give me the best fight out of that locker room, outside of the people I've already wrestled against in the past. Professionally, I would, I don't know who this John guy is. Professionally, I gotta wipe my ass with what he thinks.
Well, that's Johnny Rotten.
Yeah, well, Johnny Rotten can suck my Famunda cheese. I don't give a damn about Johnny Rotten. God and Michael, maybe. They might be the best ones to give me a run for my money. But it's like I've said multiple times. I told Berto this. I've told everybody this to their face. There's not a single guy on that roster that can touch me. If they do, come get them some. There ain't nothing stopping them. They want a piece of me, come and get it. I'm an open book and I'm a buffet. There's enough of me to go around, and I'm here to whoop everybody. There's not a single man I'm afraid of. And, Michael can talk about HHL or HLL, wherever the hell he came from. Johnny Rotten can talk whatever he wants to talk about how he's really hardcore and this and that and the next thing. Guys like them are a dime a dozen. They line up and they fall the same. It's just another body, another broken neck, and another paycheck. That is all there is to those guys. But with that, I want to thank you guys for joining us. We're having some technical difficulties. We'll be back with a part 2 with the Michael interview here a little later on. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.